Alrighty. Let's do this. 2:09 Monday morning. I can't even see if I'm in the shot or not, but I'm gonna glare. But what are we? 12 days out? 12 days out? Monday. I got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 5 days plus 7, 12 days out, right? Coffee in hand. Uh, it's Monday, and so if you've been following along, you know I always have like terrible cheat weekends. So it was another like 3,000 calorie weekend. Mind you, I should be targeting closer to around that like 1,800 mark. So, whoops. Maybe even 3 days in a row I did that. I think it was Friday, Saturday, and Sunday did I double fuck it up. But hey, whatever, that's life. That's probably why also I'm not going through the exact same thing that you hear most bodybuilder preps go through where they're suffering and they're like they feel awful and terrible and all that. That's probably because I'm just fucking eating heaps and I'm not that low body fat percentage as they are. So oh well. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna work hard, doesn't mean we're not gonna do the session today. I was gonna think about a title for this video and it was gonna be like an about me chest. Reason being I was driving through my hood pretty much to get to the gym and I was talking to my friend the other day. And pretty much where I grew up in Australia, the area or the suburb is considered like low socioeconomic, right? And that sort of makes sense because, my fucking parents immigrated here from a different country. And for some reason, that led me down to the thoughts of like politics. And I don't really understand what's going on too much over the world in terms of the war, but pretty much my parents came here in 1979, Australia, from Vietnam. I'm Asian. Um, and pretty much what they had to do was they had to escape their country on like fishing vessels or fishing boats. And I'd always ask my dad about like these stories, and he'd always tell me pretty much like families and families and families and huge amounts of people were trying to escape Vietnam, and they would all fucking congregate at this harbor and, take refuge on these fishing boats with hopes that these boats would fucking cross the sea for days and days and days, maybe even weeks. I didn't even know how long that sea, possibly like 3, 4 weeks, to come all the way to Australia and to fucking kick it here and start a whole new life, right? And mind you, to even get on these boats, you pretty much had to like sell all your possessions and buy a fucking expensive ass ticket, and it didn't even guarantee your safety, right? So on these boats and on these fucking vessels that are trying to make their way to, and it wasn't just Australia, it was like, America, Germany, a bunch of other countries, right? The fucking countries going through a war, they were just spread out wherever. And then so what happens then is that, yeah, the boat journey doesn't even guarantee success of you getting there. There are fucking pirates in the waters that will kill you and fucking take your families, take all your possessions. You will maybe capsize and die just due to poor sailing conditions. Your engine might just fucking explode, then you're just stranded at sea. There's all these crazy things, right? My dad would tell me that his first boat that left the harbor, it fucking its engine died, but they managed to fucking get it back to the harbor and get on a new boat and go again. But he said as he went back towards the harbor, the sun was rising. He would see just thousands and thousands of dead bodies in the harbor of people that are drowned trying to escape the fucking country. Um, Fortunately for me, they made it out of there. They came here, had me. Now I'm trying to do a bodybuilding prep. But the point of this is, I think pretty much they go through all of that and they arrive on Australia, and then as they're about to be welcomed onto Australia, they pretty much get killed. I think that's what's going on in the world right now in terms of like the conflict between countries. I'm not very I'm not very that into the politics, but I am trying to be a bit more aware of what's going on in the world. Anyway, slight tangent. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to talk about. Still titled the video about me chess, but if you stay for the car talk, kudos to you. In terms of the workout, we're going to go chest, 4 to 6 sets, nothing crazy. Really, with 12 days out, stimulate is the goal. Yeah, stimulate and retain, nothing crazy, no PRs. very likely still all the sets to failure, maybe one or two in the tank. I'll see, or I might do like one to failure just to gauge it, and then one leaving one or two in the tank just for like fatigue management purposes, right? I do also want to hit some forearms, and then I'm training legs tomorrow, but because of the scattered day that I'm gonna have, I'm thinking of maybe hitting like a bit of prerequisite legs just here today, and then I can do my other leg volume tomorrow, because I don't want to. Well, no, I don't want to. I must, but it's like my leg days have been 3 sets of quads, 3 sets of hammies, 3 sets of hip adduction, right? And 9 sets doesn't seem like a lot for a workout, but when I'm really pushing hard and I'm like in a caloric deficit, it's fucking hard, right? And so it's better to maybe even do half of that volume or a third of that volume today with my chest workout, simply because like 4 to 6 sets of chest is manageable, but I'm not fucking heaving and peaving, heaving and hooing. I'm not heaving, you know what I mean? And so potential to throw in some legs at the end there. But otherwise, we're still going to go for it. Oh, you know what? I'll hit hammies so I can see what the side chest looks like. You know what? I'll hit hammies today. Yeah, we'll call it that. I'll do hammies. We'll see what the side chest looks like with a fucking hamstring sweep, or as I like to call it. I don't even think it's called a hamstring sweep. It's more so like a hanging hamstring, like this teardrop droopy action on your hammy, which really only exists there if you've got enough muscle mass. Anyway, that's probably what we're going to go through today. Pose down, check in, go through the works. I actually got to the gym sort of early today. It's 2:15 and I'm about to pull up. Normally I get here at fucking like 2:45, so the extra half hour is going to be good in terms of like getting the workout done. You know what I mean? Anyway, enough talking about it. We'll see you in there. The first set is going to be chest, but I'm still going to go through my full body warm up, my stretches, my rotator cuff shit, go through all of that first, as per usual. Can't skip out on that, pretty much no matter what. Otherwise you're just asking for a risk of injury. Alrighty, we'll see you in there. Alrighty, so slight little discovery, and I just realized two things. One, if I have my headphones on whilst talking in the cam, I feel a little bit less self-conscious. And two, I was doing these fucking warm-up sets just then, and I got up to 81 kilos. That's 8 from the bottom, and feeling pretty damn strong. Honestly, this set I might have to do like 15 reps, but I don't really want to push it and go heavier and do less reps, only because I'm a bit scared of injury. I want to keep it contained, just pump the chest, contract hard, stimulate, make it retain, pretty much, right? 2 sets here, and then likely some cable crosses, but honestly, feeling fucking hella strong. Obviously, the weekend's doing its job. I'm fully on, like, carved up, caloried up. So let's just see what it looks like. Oh, today's set sponsored by Kalani featuring Big Sean. Lights on. All right, maybe had one more, maybe two more. Unlikely 3 more there with the form that I was trying to keep up. Whew, not bad. One more. Ugh. let's move on. Alrighty, got ourselves a little treat here. 2 more sets, but we're gonna double superset burner out finish this shit. We're gonna step forward, do a more so high to low cable cross, and then gonna step all the way back and stand in between the cable station, and then go ahead and do some flat cable presses or flies, right? No crisscross action, just going back to vanilla, the generic one. If you're wondering where I got this from, it's actually gonna be Sam Sulek, but let's just see what mine looks like. Not bad. Ugh. No more chest. Alrighty. So, I mean, I actually rarely hit forearms that much, but when I do, it's some sort of variation of this. Yeah, you need wrist extension, you need wrist flexion. Simple as that. Just this action. All right, one both ways. Start at neutral, go up, trains your forearms or your extensors. Go down, trains your forearm, aka your flexors. I don't know, some stuff like that. But I always do this pretty much. Dumbbell wrist curls have been in the program for as long as I started training forearms, which honestly wasn't that long ago. So here's what it looks like. I'm gonna do 3 sets, but you get to see one. Next clip, maybe some hamstring curls. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, ow. And then I always superset it. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, two more. All right, I'm going to do this set intro upside down. I did say hamstrings, but another one of my muscle groups that I rarely hit for a very long time are my erectors. So instead of two lying hamstring curls, we're going to be doing these instead. Apologies for the sus angle. Ugh. Nothing too crazy. Just one more of these. Ugh. Woo. All right, let's check the pump. Let's see what we look like. In the car talk, well, no, earlier in the workout, I was saying how I'll train the hamstring so that when I do the side chest, I can see the hamstring droop. I think I did talk about that in the car talk, and then I realized I don't do non-pants pose downs on YouTube. I don't know, it's just a weird thing. I don't want to get naked in front of the internet just yet. Anyway, let's go through a couple. White lighting today, because why not? Let's just see what we look like. That's all right. Front double by. I watched the last year's show of the show that I'm gonna do. They sometimes make you hold the pose for up to upwards of 20 seconds. Sometimes they'll say something like, front relaxed, and then they'll say quarter turn to your right, yeah? They'll say it, you hit it, start counting 20 seconds. They hold this one pose 20 seconds. That's fucking long. That's long as. Whew. Bit of abs. Not bad. Close it out. Anyway, that was chest. That was forearms. Goodness, the forearms. Whoops. Sorry, just got into got into a trance of just looking at myself in the mirror. Forearms, chest, and a tiny bit of erector action, which, I mean, you can sort of see they're slightly bulgy. So pretty much these spots here. Let me see if I can try flex them. Nah, I can't. Anyway, that's it. 12 days out. We really got to work, but the shape I'm in after quite a big refeed over the weekend, this, although I wish I was a bit more conditioned, I'd be okay with going on stage like this. Not bad, not bad. Anyway, if you listen to this far, thanks for tuning in. See you in the next one.